Okay, the last form of punctuation we'll go over is the apostrophe. To be honest, the apostrophe isn't used all that much in technical writing. It has two main uses, possessives and contractions, neither of which are particularly common in technical writing, but the problem is with apostrophes, they're often misused or used incorrectly when they are used. So we need to go over this just pretty quickly and make sure we get this right. So the two main uses I've mentioned, possessives and contractions. Possessives indicate that somebody or something owns something or it takes the place of some object. So mercury was sampled from the muskrat's tissue. Possessive is showing the possessive apostrophe is showing that the tissue belongs to the muskrat. So that's a pretty simple example of how it's used. And then we have contractions where a letter or more than one letter is removed and a word is shortened or two words are shortened into one word. So the apostrophe will also fill the place of something that's missing from words just to make it more concise or short or more like the spoken word. Now, even though this is how we usually talk, technical writing often wouldn't use a word like were or I'm. It would use I am or we are. But these are perfectly correct. The example I've given here, the next two examples are showing how the possessive S is often confused. So some people have a problem remembering the rules with the apostrophe because when we say it, we don't really think about how it's written. So the apostrophe will follow the S if it's a plural. So the muskrat's home in the second sentence has an apostrophe afterward, indicating that there are multiple muskrats and that the home belongs to them all. In the next sentence, we have an S apostrophe and we have an apostrophe S, and the apostrophe S can be used for a word that ends in S where we pronounce both S's. So the albatross's home. If we're pronouncing both S's, we would write apostrophe S, and if it's a word where the second S is not mentioned or pronounced, we can just put an apostrophe. So that one you actually have to think about how it's said out loud. So that one's often confused, but the good news is these do not come up much in technical writing. Another commonly confused word that has an apostrophe is its. So we have the word its meaning belonging to it. The animal shed its fur, for example, and then we have its meaning it is. It's 10 o'clock. So these often get confused in writing. The most common mistake with an apostrophe is often to use an apostrophe to make a plural when we have an acronym. So an acronym is a number of letters that stand for different words. They're very common in technical writing. So I've used NGOs, which stands for non-governmental organization, and I've done it incorrectly here. The scientist spoke with several NGOs. We don't need an apostrophe there. We're just pluralizing. We're not showing that the NGOs own anything. We're not making a contraction. We're not making anything shorter. So there's actually no need for an apostrophe. This is a very common mistake that people do. And you just remember that the apostrophe in this sentence doesn't follow either of the two rules or either of the two purposes for an apostrophe. It just doesn't belong there. And you don't need it. When you look at the second sentence, the scientist spoke with several NGOs. There's actually no need for that apostrophe. It sounds just like you would say it. Okay, go read up on the apostrophe and then come back for our last topic this week, which is acronyms.